A very afternoon, you're with Lunchtime News on TV1. For the Newsfirst team, I'm Muad Razik. Let's start off with a look at headlines.
Water supply to Jayala and Katunayaka suspended. Many areas experience heavy rainfall. Non-academic staff strike action hampers activities at state universities for the third day. 27 villagers in Rajangane inconvenienced from a shortage of medicine.
In a lead story today, the water supply to Ragama, Jayala, Kandan and surrounding areas was suspended until this afternoon. The National Water Supply and Drainage Board said the cause for disruption was a failure on the main line carrying water from Sapukaskanda to Ragama. The Water Board Deputy General Manager for the north of the Western Province, Pathiraja Ramavikramaraj, said the supply would restore in a few hours. And some weather news. The Met Department says there's a high possibility for afternoon thunder showers, particularly in Uva, Eastern, Central and North Central provinces and in Vaunia and Mullaitivu districts.
The Met Department said low atmospheric turbulence attributed to the present weather, where the western and southern provinces experienced heavy rainfall since last evening. A correspondent said the Galle town and surrounding areas experienced heavy rainfall since last night. This caused flooding on the Galle Wakwala, Galle Baddegama, Galle Mapalagama and many byroads, causing serious obstruction for the flow of traffic. The Met Department said showers or thunder showers will occur at times in western, Sabargamo and northwestern provinces and in Galle and Matra districts, and heavy falls about 100 to 150 millimeters are likely to take place in some places. Showers or thunder showers will occur at several places elsewhere after 2 p.m. The general public is kindly requested to take adequate precaution to minimize damages caused by temporary localized strong winds and lightning.
In a more lead story, the strike action launched by non-academic staff at state universities citing several demands, including a solution to salary anomalies, entered day 3 today.
The strike action by non-academic staff at state universities has posed a direct impact on the educational activities at universities. Our correspondent reported the strike affected the activities of the Karapete Faculty of Medicine as well. This morning, a special meeting took place at the premises of the University of Peradeniya with the participation of a large number of non-academic staff. The meeting was on the future measures required to be made on their trade union action. The Students' Union of the University of Peradeniya decided to support the non-academic staff strike starting today. Academic activities of all universities have been affected for many days. We urge the government to provide a solution for the non-academic staff who are engaged in a strike action to win their rights. As the Students' Union, we will provide our fullest support for their cause. Trade unions pointed out the authorities failed to provide a solution to these issues. The long-term strike action launched by all university trade unions continues. Day-to-day activities including lectures, examinations and research activities have come to a standstill at all universities. Until a proper solution is provided, none of the universities will be able to open and the students' academic activities and exams will come to a standstill.
General secretaries and permanent representatives of political parties have been requested to be present at National Elections Commission on the 17th of September.
A spokesperson said registered political parties were thus summoned to be present at the NEC at 10:30 a.m. on the 17th for a meeting on future elections and related matters.
In a political story, is the presidential candidate of the Sri Lanka Pudujana Perumuna, Gotabaya Rajapaksa, arrived at the Navagamuwa Sri Pattini Devalaya last night.
A special puja took place to invoke blessings on Gotabaya Rajapaksa. Parliamentarians Bandula Gunawardana, Susil Premajant, Vimal Veeravansa and a number of supporters attended the event.
Still in local news, a bus was handed over to the Nakulugamuwa Gamini Mahavidyalaya in Tangol under the Samata Sahana program.
The bus worth 4.6 million rupees was handed over to the school by Deputy Leader of the United National Party and Minister Sajid Premadasa. The objective of this move was to provide school buses to students who face transportation difficulties, and the funding was from a donor who did so as per the request made by the minister. As public representatives who were elected by the people, we must fulfill our duties and responsibilities for the development of villages and towns. My responsibility and duty is to strengthen free education, and it can only be achieved by maintaining high standards in the education sector. We need to be committed towards providing higher education with better standards. My wish is to provide the same facilities given to the best schools to all schools in the country. The government must be held responsible to maintain high standards at all government schools. I wish to give you renewed hope. Sajid Premadasa will be committed towards making a completely free educational system under the free education concept.
Sajid Premadasa අපකැප වෙනවයි කියලා මේ අවස්ථාවේ ප්‍රකාශ කරනවා. මගේ බලාපොරොත්තු ඔබ සියලු දෙනාම.
You are aware of my ambitions. I pledge one thing to the people, and it is to build, strengthen and convert this country into the greatest in the world, working 24/7 and 365 days of the year. I will give you my best towards that cause. My request to you is to protect the resources given to you.
මේ අවස්ථාවේ ප්‍රකාශ කරමින් එක ඉල්ලීමක් කරනවා මේ ලබා දෙන සම්පත හොඳින් ආරක්ෂා කරන්න.
Minister Gayantha Karunatilaka responded to questions raised by journalists following an event in Gaul.
Once the election is announced, we will put forward the candidate. Then we will work to win. We don't see such a challenge. We are confident of our victory. It will happen as it has always happened in the UNP. Some parties decide based on who the older or the younger sibling is. Even though different opinions are expressed by our party, finally the decision will be made by the working committee and the parliamentary group, and we will work together to make the party and the country victorious.
In more political news, Governor of the Uva province, Maitri Gunratha, expressed the following views at an event in Badulla yesterday.
Sajid
Premadasa was patient for a very long time, and he stood by Ranil Wickremesinghe during the tough times. I do not think the way he was treated for all what he did is ethical. Ranil Wickremesinghe would never hand over the candidacy to anyone on a platter. He would go to the extent of handing it to a common candidate. There is a serious doubt if he would give it to anyone else in the UNP. He is simply killing time.
The Court of Appeal permitted to consider the appeal filed by Gotabaya Rajapaksa challenging the case filed over the avant-garde matter. The case against Rajapaksa was filed by the Bribery Commission.
The Court of Appeal today accepted the facts presented by counsel appearing for Gotabaya Rajapaksa, who claimed the case filed at the Colombo Chief Magistrates Court by the Bribery Commission was done without written approval from the commissioners of the Bribery Commission, and therefore filing such a case was illegal. Thereby, the Bribery Commission will not be able to continue with the case filed against Gotabaya Rajapaksa and other suspects named in the case. Based on today's ruling by the Court of Appeal, the order given by the Colombo Chief Magistrates Court dismissing the preliminary objections raised by counsel for Rajapaksa and the order given by the Colombo High Court dismissing the revision application challenging the Chief Magistrate's order will now be termed as invalid. The Commission to investigate allegations of bribery or corruption filed a case against 8 people including Gotabaya Rajapaksa, accusing them of causing a loss of 11.4 billion rupees to the government by permitting avant-garde maritime services to operate a floating armoury. Earlier, the Court of Appeal, when considering the petition filed by Gotabaya Rajapaksa, issued an interim injunction preventing any further action from being taken regarding the case filed at the Magistrates Court.
A shortage of medicine is reported from the Central Ayurvedic Dispensary in Yaya 11 in Rajangania, and this has severely affected a total of 27 villages in the area. People from 27 villages, including Rajangania, Yaya 11, Yaya 2 and Yaya 3 visit this dispensary for their daily medical needs. Our correspondent said more than 200 patients visit the dispensary on a daily basis. These people request the authorities to solve this issue. In more local news, the 10th phase of the military exercise Comrade Strike X 2019 took place today in Dambulla. More than 2,000 Tri-Forces personnel are taking part in military exercise Comrade Strike X 2019. Military personnel from 10 other countries are taking part in the exercise as well. Another leg took place in the Ibankatu Reservoir in Dambulla. Today's exercise was a rescue of people acting as foreign businessmen from robbers. The operation, which lasted 5 hours, saw rescue teams breach enemy lines by land, air and water. In more local news, the Convention of Association for National Trade Union Centres is currently being held at the Sukudadasa Indoor Stadium. Stay tuned with News First for updates on this event. Sports news, a media briefing on the third Alas Gunasekara Trophy basketball match between Royal College Colombo and Gateway College was held in Colombo. The third Alas Gunasekara Trophy basketball match between Royal College and Gateway College will be played on the 22nd at the Gateway College courts. The inaugural encounter was won by Royalists and last year's encounter was won by Gateway College. Matches will be played in under 19 and under 15 categories. Moreover, an exhibitions girls match will also be played